The most common timing mistake in New Zealand isn't choosing the wrong season. It's assuming there's only one season worth choosing. Almost every traveler who thinks carefully about when to visit New Zealand arrives at the same answer: the austral summer, December through February, when the days are long, the temperatures are warm, the Great Walks are fully operational, and the country is at its most conventionally accessible. It's the correct answer for many people. It's also the most expensive answer, the most crowded answer, and for a specific set of travelers whose priorities don't align with summer hiking and beach weather, it's not actually the best answer at all. New Zealand has 4 genuinely distinct versions of itself across the calendar year, and each one serves a different kind of traveler. The summer version is the one everyone knows. The other 3, autumn, winter, spring, are less understood, less visited, and in some respects more rewarding precisely because fewer people have figured out what they offer. Understanding all 4, and then deciding honestly which one matches what you came for, is the actual timing question. The surface question, when is it warm, is the wrong one to ask first. Start with summer, because it deserves honest treatment rather than reflexive promotion. December through February is when New Zealand's outdoor infrastructure operates at full capacity. The Great Walks are open and staffed. The mountain passes are snow-free. The long daylight hours push sunset past 9 in the evening in the south, and the temperatures across most of the country are genuinely warm rather than merely mild. For first-time visitors whose primary goal is the classic New Zealand experience, the multi-day walks, the fjord cruises, the alpine scenery, the beaches of the Coromandel or Abel Tasman, summer is the window that makes all of those things simultaneously available. It comes with costs that are not only financial, though the financial ones are real. Accommodation prices peak in December and January. The Great Walk huts that need to be booked months in advance are at their most competitive and most fully subscribed. Queenstown reaches its highest visitor density of the year, and Milford Sound, which already receives 7 to 8 meters of annual rainfall, processes the highest volume of tourist traffic of the year in conditions that are often overcast. Regardless of season, the crowds don't ruin these experiences, but they modify them, and the traveler who arrives in January expecting solitude in the fjords or quiet on the Routeburn has miscalculated the relationship between peak season and the kind of encounter with wilderness they were imagining. There's also the school holiday reality to factor in, because New Zealand's own summer school holidays, from mid-December through late January, produce a domestic travel surge that concentrates New Zealanders at the same destinations at the same time as the international peak. The combination produces the highest prices and the most competition for accommodation, particularly in the South Island's National Park gateway towns, in a window that can be navigated with advanced booking, but that consistently surprises people who planned everything except this. The shoulder just after summer, March and April, is where the most consistently undervalued timing in New Zealand lives, and it's worth developing in some detail because it's genuinely not well understood even by people who've done their research. March and April sit in the autumn position in the Southern Hemisphere, and autumn in New Zealand's South Island produces something that almost no international visitor plans around specifically: the coloration of the southern beech forests. The Nothofagus, the native beech species that covers much of the mountain terrain, doesn't turn the violent red and orange of a New England or a European autumn, but it does shift through gold and copper and rust across the hillsides and valley floors of Fiordland, the Mackenzie Basin, and the Queenstown Lakes region in a way that makes the landscape visually distinct from its summer self in a genuinely striking way. Paired with a post-summer clearing of crowds, the early autumn light that sits lower in the sky and does more interesting things with the mountains than the high summer sun, and accommodation prices that have begun their descent from January peaks, March and April represent an argument for the South Island that most visitors simply haven't encountered. The Great Walks are still open and operational in March and sometimes into April. The weather in the mountains remains broadly stable, and the days are still long enough for full hiking days without the summer's extended daylight hours. The international visitors who know about this window, and they are a small minority, tend to be repeat visitors to New Zealand who found summer the first time and autumn the second time, and found they preferred the autumn. That preference is not universal, but it's real enough that if your schedule has any flexibility and summer is not a fixed requirement, March is worth serious consideration. Winter, June through August, is where the timing conversation in New Zealand gets genuinely complicated, and where the oversimplification of avoid the off-season costs specific types of traveler the most. New Zealand's winter is mild by international standards in the North Island. Auckland in July averages around 14 degrees during the day, green and rainy but never cold in any genuinely punishing way, and fully functional for the North Island's volcanic landscapes, the Bay of Islands, the Coromandel, and the Wairarapa wine region. The North Island's winter doesn't require the same recalibration of expectations that, say, Patagonian winter does. It's gray and occasionally wet and significantly quieter than summer, and for a traveler whose primary interest is the North Island's specific offerings, Tongariro, Rotorua's geothermal environment, the Hawke's Bay food and wine scene, it's a perfectly manageable window with meaningfully lower prices and thinner crowds. The South Island in winter is a different proposition, and one that is simultaneously a deterrent for some visitors and precisely the reason others specifically choose it. The mountain passes receive snow, some roads close, and the Great Walks shut down for the season. The Milford and Routeburn tracks, specifically, are closed in winter because the conditions in Fiordland and the Main Divide in July make them genuinely unsuitable for the level of walker they're designed for. This is the real winter limitation, and it's significant for anyone whose trip is built around the multi-day walks. But the South Island's mountains in winter are also where New Zealand's ski industry operates, and that industry is genuinely world-class in ways that the country's summer reputation sometimes obscures. The resorts around Queenstown, Remarkable's Coronet Peak, and those accessible from Wanaka and Mount Hutt near Christchurch offer skiing and snowboarding on terrain that is spectacular by any global standard, and they do so in a Southern Hemisphere winter that falls in the Northern Hemisphere summer, which is why New Zealand's ski season is the preferred destination for serious skiers from Europe and North America who want to continue their season year-round. For this specific traveler, the one who came for snow rather than for green hills and fjords, winter is not the wrong time. It's the only time. Winter also does something to the towns and cities that summer doesn't. Queenstown in winter is a ski town, operating at the pace and the culture of a ski town. The bars are full after the mountain closes. The food gets heartier. The international crowd is smaller and more specifically purposeful than the broad summer mix of everyone doing everything. For travelers who prefer their destinations with a cleaner sense of identity, the winter version of Queenstown is arguably more coherent than the summer one. Spring, September, and October holds a specific position in the New Zealand calendar that mirrors autumn's position in a different way. The Great Walks begin reopening in late October, making October the transition month when the infrastructure is coming back online, but the crowds haven't yet arrived. Prices are still in off-season or low-shoulder territory. The wildflowers across the subalpine zones begin appearing as the snow retreats. The lambs are in the paddocks across the farmland of Canterbury, and the Waikato in the scenes that match a specific pastoral New Zealand image that summer's full tourist season doesn't quite preserve. September is still genuinely winter in the mountains. Not ideal for high routes, but the valleys and the lowlands are greening and accessible in a way that makes the early shoulder season workable for a trip that wants to avoid the Great Walk queues entirely and is willing to do day walks from the same base areas instead. October specifically deserves attention as the month when the South Island offers the most interesting trade-off. The walks are reopening, the season's first visitors are arriving, and the combination of lower prices, available hut bookings, and fresh season conditions makes it the most logistically favorable month in the calendar for a traveler who has flexibility and is specifically trying to do the Great Walks without the competition that December and January bring. Now, honestly, the question of what to do with all of this when your travel dates are determined by school schedules, work leave, or a Northern Hemisphere summer that aligns with New Zealand's winter. The honest answer is that New Zealand is worth visiting in any of its 4 seasons if you understand what each one delivers and calibrate your expectations accordingly. A winter trip that doesn't try to be a summer trip, that goes to the North Island's year-round attractions, or to the South Island ski fields, or that simply accepts shorter days and greener landscapes in exchange for lower prices and quieter roads, is a better trip than a winter trip that arrives wishing it were summer. A summer trip that books the Great Walks early, plans for Milford Sounds rain, with a waterproof attitude rather than a sunny day expectation, and builds in the flexibility to move activities around weather windows. That's a trip that delivers what summer New Zealand actually offers rather than the idealized version. The version of the timing question most worth asking is not, when is it best in the abstract? It's what am I actually coming for, and which season delivers most of that, given when I'm able to go. The summer walker and the winter skier and the autumn color chaser and the spring shoulder season traveler on a budget are all making correct timing decisions for their own purposes. They're just visiting 4 different versions of the same country, and knowing which version you're heading for before you book is the only timing advice that actually matters. Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, smash that like button and subscribe to When to Travel. We're all about helping you make smarter travel decisions. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. And hey, if you think your friends need this, share it. Comment below with your next destination or your biggest travel question. I'm reading all of them. Let's go.